close friendship with Prince Goro.
You used him for your own ends.
Why, Lady Shiva, I would never.
You're probably wondering if Mortal Kombat 11 Aftermath is worth your time and money, right? Does the expansion do enough to bring you back to Mortal Kombat 11, or does it further reinforce things you already disliked about the game? I've already covered the story mode in another review, which is a lot of fun, but outside of that there isn't too much to talk about really. A lot of the character balance changes seem a little insignificant to me if I'm being completely honest. There are some cool buffs, there are some justifiable nerfs and adjustments, but there's just nothing groundbreaking about any character in this game. This isn't like the Dragon Ball FighterZ patch where the game got a total overhaul. It is definitely better than the original Mortal Kombat 11, there's no doubt about that, and there's a bit more to do, but it's not a big deal at all. For the most part, if you're planning on still using your original main, they're mostly going to feel the same to you. One nice overall change is that if someone does a down 1, they can't cancel it into a special move if the down 1 is flawless blocked, and honestly that's a really nice change for the gameplay. Aftermath adds 3 new characters to the game, Fujin, Shiva and Robocop. Fujin is a super swaggy, heavily combo based character, and honestly characters like Fujin are more than welcome in the game because he's not a pick up and play kind of character. The timing on his combos are way more strict than what you usually find in Mortal Kombat 11. For example, you could pick up Sub-Zero and learn all of his most powerful combos in 10 minutes without many input errors, but for most people that's not going to happen with Fujin, and some actual time and training is going to need to take place. Shiva is a grappling character. The timing on her combos are not as difficult as Fujin, but she does take some time getting used to because of her inputs. She's a lot of fun to use, she has some interesting normal attacks and she hits extremely hard. Robocop is basically Deadshot. He's decent up close but can become a real pain in the neck as quickly as anything when he's at full screen. The shots from his gun travel extremely fast and they recover very quickly. He may be the strongest of the 3, but it's a little hard to tell right now. It's also really nice to have 3 characters at once in an update. One character at a time is kind of a model that I don't really like personally. They did fix a bunch of things in practice mode, added some nether forge recipes for people to find in the crypt, as well as new events, added new player modules, boss towers and whatnot to the Towers of Time, but there's nothing so significant here that it would warrant the price tag in my opinion. Unless of course you've been dying for that 3rd augment slot, which I have not personally, but I digress. Stage brutalities and friendships are fun and they're a welcome addition to the game. A lot of the friendships seem mediocre to me, but there are some that are really cool. The friendships and stage fatalities are completely free, so you'll get them regardless. The brand new stages are absolutely gorgeous and even feature some pretty good music. One of the stages projects the classic Mortal Kombat 1 arenas with the old school music. It's gotta be one of the best stages I've ever seen in a Mortal Kombat game, or any fighting game for that matter. Jumping on the projectors will make it so that the background changes to a different Mortal Kombat 1 stage, and it's actually really cool. It just makes you wonder why Mortal Kombat 11 didn't do more of this, or add in a jukebox like Tekken did where you can select some of the very classic, really cool Mortal Kombat themes. It would have solved the whole music problem that people have with Mortal Kombat right now. There's no new gameplay modes like the fun little mini games from previous Mortal Kombat iterations, and there is no inclusion of a ranked mode for customs. Kombat League has remained largely untouched. The biggest change in the game comes in the breakaway mechanic and armor. I'll start with the armor. Each character has a specific move that will allow you to break through another character's armor, whether that be fatal blow or breakaways. Some characters have more than one. The biggest problem with this mechanic though is that some characters have armor moves specifically locked into a variation, which means if you don't play that variation, you can't use it. There isn't much that is going to feel fresh about the character and you'll probably get bored, much like I did. It's also just weird to take a universal mechanic and change it in a way that doesn't affect the roster universally. It kind of goes against what it says. I've heard the argument that the variations may have needed it and other variations don't, but to me that's a really weak argument altogether. If the other variation was weak, it should have been buffed to the point of being playable, and the breakaway change should have been truly universal, because for the characters that do benefit from it, it does seem pretty cool. The other issue with it is some of the armor breaking moves are honestly garbage. For example, Noob Saibot's one is really good. You can really make people pay for breaking away at the wrong time in all of his variations, especially when he gets you in the corner. It's an awesome change that affected the character across the board. Then you have someone like Baraka where the change has only affected one of his variations and it's not really a huge deal and doesn't add too much to the character. And then you have the universal changes that affect the character in every variation but not in the way you'd want. I'll give you an example. Sonya's armor break move does no damage, does not extend the combo to make them pay for doing a breakaway, doesn't have any status effects, it's literally nothing. You're actually better off just going for a down 2 like you would in the previous version of Mortal Kombat. The down 2 ends up giving you more damage. That's actually hilarious. I don't know if they even bothered testing it. I don't like Sonya one bit in this game and I think characters like her need an overhaul because her archetype is all over the place. But this is a universal change that is meant to benefit the attacker and not deter players from wanting to pick up the game again. It's just poorly implemented all in all, and it's not enough of a game changer for me to want to purchase the game if I hadn't already. Outside of that, there were no real changes to other mechanics in the game. Throws remained the same, fireballs remained the same, there were no changes made to the wake up system of any significance that I could see. Like I said before, the story mode is a lot of fun and I personally really enjoyed it, despite having a few gripes with it, but it is basically a feature length movie. And that kind of works against it because there's nothing to really do in it other than just fight people. It's not like Injustice where they had some quick time mini games before fights or anything to do, so you just basically watch. You can just go to YouTube and you'll get the exact same experience that I'd get when I'm playing it. So in conclusion, is Mortal Kombat 11 Aftermath worth the price tag of £35 or $40 US? In my opinion, no. If you already enjoyed Mortal Kombat 11, then you're going to inevitably enjoy this, and if you didn't enjoy Mortal Kombat 11, then you're definitely not going to find anything here to suck you back in. But either way, the price tag is just far too steep in my opinion. It should have been £20 to £25 maximum, but that's just me. What do you guys think of the Mortal Kombat 11 Aftermath expansion? Was it worth it in your eyes or a waste of money? Let me know in the comment section below, and as always guys, stay safe out there and I'll catch you soon. Peace.